Continuing our series on the Blazor application refactoring and some new functionality adding, and now we will start with some bug fixes. So we have two key points of interest for now, and one for this new method. So the first one, we have added one method previously, but unfortunately we have not made it asynchronous. So if you look here, so here we have the asynchronous approach on the top of this task, but here we are not using the asynchronous approach. So let's do it in an asynchronous way. So first of all, we need to do it like this. So and await, and also we will add the asynchronous approach here in the task, and here we are also going to use the asynchronous overload, so like this. And here we have the update menu. If we go here, so we have the update menu, and let's create the asynchronous overload for this. So just either we can use just non-generic approach here. So we are gonna just to use the bulk extension method, but in the asynchronous way. So let's not do this, but instead do this one. So it will be async and it will be awaited. So and next here we will use the async. Here we will await it. Okay. So let's test it just at one place. So to see that everything is all right with this refactoring. So the first file, and here we have the groups file. So yeah, so here we're updating it, and program names. Yeah, so now everything looks fine. So the next one is the other error, and which is probably common in the entity framework, but I want you to show it in the details. So we have this error on the page, so not here, but yeah, for example, yeah, it's in the debug mode. So this error looks like that. So invalid column name, but unfortunately we do not have the details of the debug. So for example, which line, either which function, and so on. So just the SQL exception of the invalid column name. So first of all, we need to look at this page. So we have called the team page. So let's go to the team page and examine what there is. So the team page, and here we are getting the data. So for example, we are getting the data this way. So with including the nested entities, and we are getting the either target or first via extension method. Okay, but let's look at this type. So we have the bound entity, which is team. So each member should belong to a certain team. But what's about the foreign key? So the foreign key naming. So here we have the faculty ID, and probably it's the foreign key for the team. But if we go to the DB context and look for this type, so member, we see just the DB set of this type. So and we do not see any additional configuration. So here we have the two ways. So one way is add the configuration like this, or for example like one of the statements. The other way, which is just to keep it almost simple as it is to have the proper naming for the foreign key of the entity, because if, for example, we have the team entity bound this way, so this one should look by the entity framework naming convention like this. So like entity name as ID as foreign key, yeah. So just this way. And this one does not look as the foreign key for this bound entity. So, and this way we are getting that strange error. So, and without understanding of this, we could not locate where exactly it is. So, and the most simple solution for this case is just to rename it as it should be, but we will need also rename it in the database. And the second one is that if, for example, we would have some stored procedures and so on, which relies just on the on this certain field name, so that would be bad. If we have just the entity framework approach, so this should be okay. So just rename it to this one. So, and let's run this and to see whether these changes were properly reflected or not. So let's go to this page. So like this team, and yeah, so we have this page working. So for now, great. And the second case was about the second Excel file upload. So let's go to this method. So it sync, yeah, and also here while we made it as an async task, here we are missing the await keyword, so we need also to add an await here, and let's retest it just one more time, because we have tested it without the await keyword, and we have to ensure that everything is 100% correct. So let's go to this manage, upload the file, and the groups file. So here we have the await, and next, if we resume the execution of the program, we see the pop-up or indicating of the successful finish. So that is fine. And now let's proceed with the second method. So sync and draw file. Let's make it an async one too. Just like this. Remove an async task, and then this one, this one, this one, it would be an async task. So here we have the errors, while these ones are currently not the collections like list, but the task of the type of this list. So we have to await all of these statements. So here and here too. So everything should be correct. And here we have this condition. So, but what's wrong currently with this condition? So currently we are checking it against that if every discipline is not like this one and this one, we will add the new discipline, but it's not the best way. So let's do it in a bit other way. So let's create as the same discipline. So when we have this one, these fields equal and this one's equal to, so, and if here, if the same discipline is null, we will add this to the disciplines. So, and here we are gonna to use also this method in the sync overload. So it will be await. This one will be await too. And here we are also gonna to add the await keyword for the proper synchronicity. So, and let's check this. Control file, and let's be this one. So, and what we have? Yeah, we have the list of the 703 disciplines. So, but we have one. Yeah, sure. So why these ones are now here? So it may be confusing, but I will explain a bit. So here, when we are just saving this data into the database, we are obviously do not need these bound entities. So bound entities, I mean the discipline form, which is bound by discipline form ID, and the subject, which is bound by the sys subject ID. But if we will retrieve this data from the database and using the projection query, this related data should be also queried within the entity framework. So that's everything's correct, and we can save it this way. And here we have the updated list of the subjects. And here it also does not have the bound entities. So we are not loading all the bound entities just to omit the unnecessary data retrieving. So let's run, and yeah, so currently we have this one finished. So what else we are gonna to do? So first of all, our discipline should be assigned to the certain group, because for example we have the group and we have the discipline, but here we have one moment that, for example, every group could potentially have the several disciplines like this, and if we sort it just by the discipline, so let's sort it A to Z, and look here, we see that the one discipline, so for example this one discipline has the multiple groups bound. So for example this one, and this one. So we need to think about that. So it could be either for example it could be, let it be, so it could be either the specifying the group ID in the discipline, so that's one way, and for example if we look at the group ID, so, and the other way is just to create the many-to-many, but maybe we will not need it, so because we could retrieve the disciplines for the one group, and from the discipline perspective probably it yeah, so each discipline will be one for the group. So let's try the many-to-many approach. So it could be more difficult, but also it should be more functional. So, and how we can utilize the many-to-many? So first of all we are gonna to create the intermediate entity, so, and it will be the discipline group, or better sys group. So like this one, and that would be a record, and it should have the public int discipline ID, the public sys group ID, and the public discipline and the public sys group. So this should be the binding entity. So, and the next one we are gonna to have in the discipline here, we are gonna to have the list not this one, but sys group, which will look as groups, and here in the sys group we are gonna to have the list of the discipline called disciplines. So let it be this way. And in the method here, so for each row we need to, so ID of the discipline, and so, but we have one moment that we have the group ID, group slug, so this one, but here we are not retrieving the group. So what we have to do, so the first of all we need to like this way. So we are going to retrieve this group by group slug, and let's supply it just with not the group, but like this. So here we are just getting not the entire group, but just its ID. So it will be either the real ID or the ID equal to 0. So, and if here, if the group ID is 0, we will throw this exception. So here we obviously have the group ID. Next, we are gonna to do like this with the disciplines ID. So if the same discipline is not now, so because the discipline so same discipline, so after this one we are gonna to add same discipline, we are not using, so it will be ID. So first of all, let it be not the entire discipline, but just its ID. Let it be go to 0, so on this one, just like this. And if this same discipline ID is 0, so we will add this new discipline, and so let's split it a bit. So So here we will have var discipline. Next, we will have the same discipline ID will be equal to the discipline.id, and here we will add this discipline, and after that for each group which is present, we are gonna to add the new binding entity. So we have created this one. Next we are gonna to provide it to the entity framework we are exposed via dbset. So, and it will be the public dbset of the disciplines group. So disciplines groups, yeah, like this. And here, so just here we will add this yeah, so first of all we need to retrieve this collection. So just this way, and here we are gonna to add the new disciplines group, which will have the discipline ID of the same discipline ID, and the group ID will be as the this one group ID. So we will add it just this way, and next we are gonna to populate it here. So as the first one. So, and also let's add it to the database. So a new table, and let's copy these ones. So it will be the discipline ID, and it will be the sys group ID. So also int, and also it will be the key, and this thing should be called as a discipline sys group. So let's save it, but we will obviously check it. So because the naming in the entity framework could should be double checked in these cases, while it can be much more complicated. So here we do not have any of these entities, and let's put the breakpoint here. Let's start it and let's see how it will go. Yeah, we have hit the breakpoint. Oh, yeah. Here we have the first exception that we do not have these keys. So what I mean by the key attribute, so we can just copy it from here. So we are gonna to generate these keys via the on the .NET side. So, and we should specify this in the strict way. So here discipline ID is a key, and this one also is a key. Yeah, and multiple keys, composite primary keys, Called by placing the primary key on the entity types or using his key in the module. Okay, let's try it this way. Interesting. So this one, and maybe let's try this approach. But yeah, so it's not so simple. Probably I should do a bit of research on this one, and we'll come a bit later with the solution about that. So currently that's it, and I will come back a bit later with this case. So